Hey, it's Dustin with Parts Doctor, and today I'm going to show you how to replace this blower wheel on this Whirlpool dryer. But this also applies to some other great manufacturer brands such as Kenmore, Maytag, Amana, and more. So come along, I'll show you step by step. It's not too hard, I believe you can do it, so let's jump into it. The dryer's blower wheel is responsible for moving air throughout the dryer. The blower wheel is attached to the drive motor shaft and should be rotating whenever the dryer is operating. If the blower wheel is damaged or disconnected from the motor shaft, air may not properly circulate through the dryer, which could impact drying or cause components to overheat and fail. If you need to purchase a blower wheel for your Whirlpool dryer, you can check out our website, partsdoctor.com, where we offer fast shipping and only sell manufacturer-approved genuine replacement parts for all major appliance brands. Tools needed for this repair: Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, 7/16 open-end wrench, 5/16 nut driver or socket, locking pliers, putty knife, 3 2x4 blocks or something similar to hold the dryer drum up. Before working on any appliance, please remember to disconnect it from the power. If you need to move your dryer away from the wall, please disconnect the dryer vent hose on the rear of the machine. Exposed edges on the dryer may be sharp, so consider using gloves and protective clothing. Locate the lint screen and pull the lint screen from the lint chute. Set it aside. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 2 screws from the lint chute opening. Be careful to not let them fall down the lint screen chute. On the top panel of the dryer, there are 2 clips roughly 2 inches from the edge of the dryer that hold the top panel in place. Using a putty knife, gently press the clip in to release the top panel of the dryer. While you're pressing on the clip, gently pull up on the top panel so you know when it's released. Repeat on the opposite side until the top is released from both clips. Once the top is free, the top panel of the dryer can be safely opened and secure. It is important that you do not flip the top all the way open, as you can damage the metal tabs or wiring harness. The metal tabs holding the top panel are not designed or strong enough to hold the panel on their own. Prop the top panel against a wall or secure it with cord or twine. Locate the door switch wiring connector in the front right corner of the dryer cabinet. Gently use your putty knife to release the locking tab on the door switch wiring harness and pull the 2 connectors apart. Once the top panel is secure and the door switch is disconnected, move on to removing the front panel. There are 2 5/16 screws and 2 slide-in hooks holding the front panel to the cabinet. First, remove the 2 5/16 fasteners with either a nut driver or socket, and be sure not to lose the 2 retaining clips that hold the screws in place. Once both of the top screws are removed, tilt the top of the front panel about 6 inches away from the cabinet and lift to free the panel from the 2 bottom clips. The dryer drum is supported by the front panel, so while you're moving the front panel away, rest the drum against either of the dryer side panels. The metal edges can be sharp, so be careful when working around any exposed edges of the dryer. Now place your support under the dryer drum to hold it in place. We are using these scrap 2x4 blocks to hold the drum while we work. Once the drum is stabilized, you can see where the idler pulley is on the bottom of the dryer cabinet. If your belt and idler pulley are still in place, snap a photo of the belt orientation for reference later. If the drive belt is still attached to the idler pulley, push the idler pulley right towards the motor pulley to release the tension off the drive belt and slide it off the motor pulley. The idler pulley should now be free. If your dryer has multiple slots for the idler pulley to mount in, you'll want to take note on which slot your idler pulley was mounted in. You can use the drive belt to help guide the drum out of the dryer cabinet. Lift the drum and slowly guide it out of the cabinet through the 2 rounded indents in the sides of the dryer cabinet. To gain access to the blower fan, the back panel and lint chute must first be removed. Remove the 1/4 inch hex head screws from the terminal cover and then the remaining fasteners holding on the back panel. Set both aside. Remove the 4 1/4 inch fasteners from the bottom of the lint chute. Carefully slide the lint chute out to expose the blower fan. To remove the blower fan, first remove the rear clamp on the motor inside the dryer cabinet by placing a flathead screwdriver in either of the J-shaped metal tabs and pry the clamp away from the motor mounting tab. This can be tricky, but using a wider flathead screwdriver can make it easier. Set the clamp aside. Once the rear clamp is removed, you can see the plastic square nut on the rear of the blower wheel. One option to attempt to remove the blower wheel is to put an adjustable wrench on the plastic nut to hold the blower wheel while the 7/16 wrench is used to turn the motor shaft. There is a portion of the motor shaft that is flat that allows the wrench to attach to the shaft. The blower fan is attached to the motor shaft with the reverse threaded connection, so you'll have to turn the adjustable wrench counterclockwise. The plastic nut on the blower wheel can strip under the force needed to loosen the fan from the motor shaft, so be careful when attempting to turn the adjustable wrench on the blower wheel. Please be advised that we have not seen the best luck with this method. If that method does not work, you can spin the blower fan from the rear of the appliance. To turn the blower fan by hand, you will need assistance to hold the wrench on the motor shaft. If you do not have anyone to hold the 7/16 wrench, you may have to get creative while trying to keep the wrench on the motor shaft, or use a locking pliers and rotate the shaft so the wrench or pliers are leveraged against the dryer's cabinet. While the wrench or pliers are on the motor shaft, move to the rear of the machine to attempt to rotate the blower fan blade. Please remember that this blower fan blade is attached to the motor shaft with reverse threads. Use two hands to grab opposite sides of the fan blade and firmly turn the blade clockwise until it loosens. You may want to wear protective gloves as some of the metal edges around the blower fan housing can be sharp. If you cannot loosen the blower wheel with either one of these methods, there are a couple last-ditch efforts you can use to remove the blower wheel from the dryer. If the square nut on the rear of the blower housing has become stripped, you can attempt to attach a locking pliers to the rounded nut and use the 7/16 wrench to turn the motor shaft. A more time-consuming method is to either use a chisel or a cutoff blade to cut the plastic blower blade from the rear of the machine. This will expose the metal connector on the inside of the blower blade. Once the blade has been cut away, use a locking pliers to grip the connector while turning the motor shaft with the 7/16 wrench. Another method requires a reciprocating saw with a fine-tooth metal cutting blade. Use a saw to cut the motor shaft between the motor and the back wall of the cabinet. We recommend at least a 9-inch blade for this job. Just note, if you cut the motor shaft to remove the blower wheel, you'll also need to purchase a new replacement motor. You can watch our other video showing you how to install the new motor. If you need to purchase a new blower wheel, make sure you get a manufacturer certified replacement part like the ones that we sell on our website, partsdoctor.com. We'll leave a link in the description below. Search with the model number from the tag on your dryer to be sure you get the correct part. While you might find a deal online, replacing these crucial parts with aftermarket knockoffs will have you doing this job again, and probably sooner than you would like. To install the blower wheel, slowly thread the blower wheel from the rear of the machine. Remember, this is reverse threaded, so feel that the wheel is on the shaft without cross-threading and slowly spin it counterclockwise. Once the wheel is on the shaft, you can spin it until the shaft starts to turn. Using one of the techniques from earlier, tighten the blower wheel. You do not need to over-tighten the blower wheel. Each time the drive motor starts, the reverse threads on the blower wheel stay tightened due to the rotation of the motor shaft. Attach the rear motor clamp by orientating the metal J-hooks closest to the motor. Slide one side of the clamp over the locking tab and use a flathead screwdriver to attach the other side over the locking tab. This may take some force, but you can tap the back of the screwdriver with your palm until the clip locks on. To install the dryer drum, situate the drum so the felt seal is facing the rear of the machine. Slide the drive belt over the drum. Check to be sure that the drive belt is not twisted or flipped in any spot, and grab the belt and the front of the dryer drum and slowly maneuver it between the side panels into the cabinet. You want to be sure that the felt seal is in the rear when sliding the drum back into place. Slide the drum in and rest the rear of the drum on the two roller wheels at the back of the cabinet. Do a visual check on the right roller wheel to see that it's in the wheel channel. While holding the drive belt, press your leg against the front of the dryer drum to hold it in place and slowly turn the drum to check that the felt seal is not folded between the drum and the back panel. Be sure to spin the drum one full rotation. Gently rest the drum on your 2x4 blocks and position the drive belt. Be sure that the black groove side is facing the drum and the fabric looking side is facing up. Locate the slots on the bottom of the dryer cabinet. Slide the left side of the bottom of the idler pulley into the leftmost slot at an angle, and then the other tab on the idler pulley into the slot next to it. Reach in the opening below the idler pulley wheel and pull the belt through. Apply pressure to the idler pulley towards the motor until you can move the belt onto the motor pulley on the motor shaft. Reference the photo you took earlier if you need help with the belt path. While looking at the drive belt on the idler pulley tensioner, support the front of the drum and slowly turn the drum clockwise. The drum, belt, and motor should all turn when you do this. If your drum does not turn freely, either the belt or idler pulley are installed incorrectly. If there's an issue with the drum not spinning freely, do not proceed to install the front panel of the dryer. Remove the drive belt from the idler pulley and pull the drum out to find the problem before proceeding. If the drum, pulley, motor, and rollers are all spinning smoothly, move the front panel near, and while carefully supporting the drum, remove the support blocks underneath it. While continuing to support the drum, move the front panel into place. Using your foot, slide the bottom of the front panel on the metal hooks near the bottom of the side walls of the cabinet. Apply gentle pressure to the bottom of each side of the front panel until each side slips on and down on the metal J-shaped hooks. While continuing to hold the front panel in place, carefully reach in to align the dryer drum to fit over the front drum seal while you push the front panel against the cabinet. While holding the front panel in place, be sure that the retention clips are in place and screw the two 5/16 fasteners with your nut driver or socket. Firmly tighten both sides. Reconnect the door switch wiring harness, being sure that the locking clip snaps back into place. Check the top of the cabinet for any wires that could get pinched when closing the top panel. Slowly close the top panel and firmly snap both sides onto the clips. Replace the two screws near the lint chute. Again, be careful that they do not fall down into the chute. Slide the lint screen into the lint chute opening. Reattach the back panel with the 1/4" hex head screws and reinstall the terminal cover with the fastener on the top of the panel. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully that your dryer is now well maintained and can last you for years to come. I'm Dustin with Parts Doctor. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.